Genshin Impact. We all know it, and really we all love it. It's one of the most popular games of all time, on mobile, on PC, basically everywhere. But what other games do we have at our fingertips that we can play that are like Genshin Impact? Today I have a list of 10 of them that I think are really solid games that'll give you that same feeling that you have when you play Genshin. So let's get into the list, top 10 games like Genshin Impact. The first game I want to share with you guys today is Zenless Zone Zero, also brought to us by Hoyoverse. This game is futuristic, graphics that are incredible, and weapons that are just a little bit more modern than what we're used to seeing in Genshin Impact. Inside of this game, you have a very futuristic loot box system. You have mechanics inside of the game that are just so much fun to play. The battle mechanics are incredible. This was recently in a closed beta for the community to try out, and it is soon to be coming for all players. It's a game that I feel is going to be massive on the scene, and I think that Zenless Zone Zero is going to be a massive player for gamers both on mobile and on PC. If you're looking for some type of an anime battler that's just a little bit different than things that we've seen before, Zenless Zone Zero is a must play. Next we have Honkai Impact 3rd. This game has 10 million downloads, it sits with 4.1 stars, and it actually came out earlier than Genshin Impact, but still is incredibly popular to this day. Maybe the graphics aren't as pristine as Genshin Impact, but I'll tell you what, they still are very much quite nice. It's more of a space futuristic themed game and one that's incredibly fun to play. We still see content creators and streamers playing this one to this day, even though Genshin came and kind of took the throne from underneath. It's a really fun game, again, really great battle mechanics, and artwork that is very similar in that Hoyoverse realm, because at the end of the day, this is another Hoyoverse game. Next up, we have Tower of Fantasy, which is brought to us by Level Infinite with 5 million downloads and 4.1 stars. Here we're looking at another anime-styled MMORPG role-playing game. So the battle mechanics are very similar to what you know and love from Genshin. So when you maybe get a little bit bored of what we're doing in Genshin Impact on the daily, you want to swap things out and go into a little bit of Tower of Fantasy. This game has a great customization mechanism inside of it as well. It's one that came out just a little while ago. It's one of the newer games on today's list, and although quite popular, didn't quite reach the popularity that I had expected it to. That being said, it's still a great MMORPG that is definitely worth diving into. Let me introduce you guys to Snowbreak Containment Zone. This one has 1 million downloads and sits with 4 stars, and it's an action RPG game. Very futuristic in style, anime themed of course, and we're looking at a role-playing game here. It's a little bit more action RPG versus MMORPG, but definitely is a fun experience. Like Genshin, it is a single player experience. And with the character artwork being on point and the gameplay being filled with action and some nice modern fun weapons, this is one of my favorites, to be honest, on the list. Additionally, I really like a lot of them on the list too, so let me not get ahead of myself. You can't go wrong playing any of these games yet though so far. And then there's Aether Gazer with 1 million downloads and 4.3 stars, another action role-playing game that is anime themed. I mean, everything on the list here today essentially is going to be anime themed since we're here looking at things like Genshin. This is a fun one, and I like this one because of its split between different type of weapons that you use for your combat. You have a bunch of melee weapons, and that's also mixed in with a bunch of more modern style automatic weapons as well. Really fun, fast combat inside of this game, and like many others, it just really is, the best word is to say here is gripping. It's going to keep you coming back to play more, and with the amount of action inside of this one, it's going to be hard to put the game down. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a bit more of an action RPG than the open exploration experience that you would get from Genshin, but definitely as well, very similar and very fun. So let me know in the comments, guys, are you a dog or a cat person? Me particularly, I prefer dogs, but I could be the minority, I'm not really sure. I want to see what you guys think, so I'll be looking in the comments. While you're down there, throw a like in the video if you're enjoying it. Punishing Gray Raven. 1 million downloads, 4.4 stars. In this game, the Earth has been conquered by a robotic army. They're called the Corrupted, and they're a twisted and warped biomechanical virus that's been called the Punishing. It's our job to come on in and demolish them because we are the last survivors inside of the game. We gotta obviously take down the warped biomechanical things, right? But if we take the lore out of it and get just into the combat, we're looking at an action RPG title here. Very futuristic themed, very much like, space-aged looking here. Fun game. Maybe not my favorite from the list, but definitely one worthy of playing. Alright, we have Honkai Star Rail right now, but hear me out. We're looking at another Hoyoverse game here. This one won Mobile Game of the Year. So although it's not an MMO, it's not an action RPG, we're actually looking at a turn-based strategy game here. It had to be on the list. It wouldn't be right if I didn't share it here. 1, because it's a Hoyoverse game, 2, because it's anime themed, and 3, because it just has that feel of Genshin. And it was Game of the Year. But if you're looking for a little bit of a slower experience, turn-based strategy style, but still a Genshin feel, Honkai Star Rail is the game for you to dive into. In addition to that, it does have some exploration elements to the game as well. You will be running around a fairly open style world in search for clues, for new champions, and all of that type of thing. So it definitely is a great game. Alright, so now I'm going to get off the beaten path a little bit, and I'm going to introduce you to Mir 4. This one's been out for a really long time. It's another anime-inspired MMORPG game. It did dabble in the past a little bit inside of the crypto scene. I don't believe it is there anymore. This game, though, has 5 million downloads. It sits with 3.3 stars, and I really think the 3.3 came in strong when they dove into that whole crypto NFT scene. So let's set that aside. We are looking at a really nice MMORPG anime-themed game. I definitely wouldn't put it on the level of some of the other titles that we've mentioned earlier on the list, but you know what? This is an option for us to play. It's worthy of being here. And then there's Black Desert Mobile. Again, quite a bit different than Genshin, but a game worthy of the list here today. This one has 10 million downloads, 4.1 stars, and it is a stylistic MMORPG role-playing game. It's actually been around longer than Genshin Impact and has really had a massive following both on PC and on mobile. It's a game with so much depth that you can't go wrong giving it a try. With so many upgrade mechanics, things that you could do inside of the game, and just never-ending tasks to complete, this is a great open world game that you would probably enjoy, even though it's not really anime themed. And the last one, I promise to not be anime themed here, is Albion Online, another one with 10 million downloads, 4.4 stars. This game is unique because it is an MMORPG, and it's a game with only one server. So everyone that plays this game is actually playing together in the same world and can interact with one another. Here, you need to do everything for yourself. Make food, craft anything that you have, build your home, and protect it. Although this is definitely a stretch from Genshin Impact, maybe even a completely different type of game altogether, I really wanted to share it in today's list because I do think that it gives you the same elements of gameplay that you would enjoy if you do enjoy Genshin. But of course, we have one more. And that one more, of course, is Genshin Impact itself. Why not just play the leader in the space with 50 million downloads and 4.1 stars? Genshin Impact is just the best. Now, maybe if you're looking for something different because you got tired of playing it or you need a little break, you may test out some of the others, but really out of everything from the list, Genshin is the #1, the most popular, and the most played over the past few years. Thanks for making it until the end of the video. If you guys are here and enjoyed it, consider subscribing for top 10 lists every day.